Hi! Quick update. I did get my new scale in the mail. It's huge, but that's a good thing, I guess. So I got it because it has both an analog and a digital, and I don't know why, but somehow that makes me feel like maybe there's like more than one method of weight measurement, and maybe that would make it more accurate. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to do a little brief unboxing and give you an update while I'm opening the box. So I mentioned in my last video that I am off of corn syrup, and it has been over 2 weeks. I don't remember. It's 2.5 weeks or something like that. And since I've had like a soda or anything that I knew had corn syrup in it. Now, I'm still learning that certain things have corn syrup that I did not know had corn syrup in them. So it's a learning curve. Now, last night, I could not sleep. I just had one of those wakeful nights where nothing you do is working, and you're just kind of staring at the ceiling. And at about 2 a.m., after staring at the ceiling for a while, I got on Facebook, and I was in a group, and somebody in a group had posted that they had found a very old poem somewhere, and it was about corn syrup or something, because it was a very, very old poem, and it basically was about how corn is really good and can be good for you when you eat it, or when you grind it up and use it as like a cornmeal, but when you turn it into a liquid and you drink it, somehow it's just like bad for you now. And the poem basically was like, when you drink corn, it's death. And there was a lot of discussion in the comments about whether it was talking about like whiskey or corn syrup, because based on the date of the poem, it was likely that corn syrup was sort of newer, but definitely around. So anyway, so that popped up on my feed like while I'm like just wakeful and staring at the ceiling, and it sent me down kind of a brain spiral. And I went and like read, because the whole corn syrup thing had started with reading one article about it, and I ended up going down just a rabbit hole of articles about fructose and glucose and high fructose corn syrup and just regular corn syrup and normal table sugar, which is cane sugar usually. And anyway, so long story very short, I am now going to be cutting way back on table sugar or refined sugars in addition to corn syrup, which is a huge dramatic shift for me because I am a pastry chef and I am a super sugar addict. I love sweets, and I know that table sugar is in a lot of things that are not sweet too, like breads, but like one thing at a time. I'm gonna go for like the obvious stuff for now because I've already cut out a lot of things just with the corn syrup, and now I need to cut out a lot more stuff with the sugar. So this should make the whole weight loss thing go pretty quickly, frankly, but it's gonna suck. I'm not really looking forward to it. I wish there was like a more moderate way to go about this, but I just, I'm not going to go too much into it, but like I just really don't like the idea of some of the long-term ramifications for me. I have some genetic predispositions, etc., that I was not aware just how much sugar and fructose, specifically fructose. That was sort of the gist of like 5 of the articles that I read, was that there's a difference between glucose and fructose, and glucose, the way that it is digested, it goes to your blood and you try to burn it first and then it goes to your liver, or something like that. One or the other. Glucose does not go through your liver, but fructose does, and so fructose basically acts like alcohol, and I don't know. I've never been an alcohol drinker, um, but I feel like this is kind of a scattered vlog. But the long story short is I am now going on a much more drastic diet change than I anticipated prior to 3 weeks ago. But I'm not as like upset about it as I normally think that I would be to be facing such a prospect, because I'm just so motivated. I'm so at the moment I'm like, I think it's my dramatic brain from sleep deprivation and anxiety probably, but I see sugar as poisonous right now, and I'm gonna kind of go ahead and like embrace that and run with it, even though I acknowledge it's not accurate and I will eventually reach a place of more moderation. But at the moment, I can afford to be a little grossed out by sugar if it'll help me reach a healthier place. So anyway, so here is the scale that I bought and just unboxed. Um, there's a sticker on it that says scale slippery when wet, no kidding. But I guess that's good to know. But duh, because it's like glass. I'm going to take that sticker off because I don't really need it. And then I love it when people peel these things. So I'm going to peel that off. Nice. So it goes up to 400 pounds or 150 kilograms. Yeah, oh no, 180 kilograms, but it only says 150. So I guess the digital part goes up higher. Doesn't really matter because I'm from America. And it came with batteries, which is awesome. Thank you, Amazon, for that. So I'm going to just open this real quick. And so yeah, so my initial sort of what I'm going to be doing, I went kind of like way off the rails by the time like the next morning came along, because I think I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I just never could fall asleep until my baby woke up and barfed all over me, and I got changed and kind of got out of my head funk, and then I was able to sleep a little bit. But it was one of those deals where like you're so wakeful that like even though I only got like 3 hours of sleep, when my kids woke me up this morning, I was fine. I had plenty of energy. I mean, I'll just go ahead and ride that. But so yeah, I'm gonna put these batteries in. Let's see here. And anyway, so yeah, now it should work. Obviously it's not on a flat surface, but see if it's not even gonna work unless I'm standing on it, I guess. I wonder if it works without the batteries, if you just do the analog. Anyway, so when I woke up this morning, I talked to my husband and got a little bit more of a like rational perspective, because by the end of it, I was just like feeling guilty for having so many sugary things in the house and for like a lifestyle of pro-sugarness, I guess. But I realized like not everyone has some of the concerns that I have, and a lot of people can moderate better than I can. And so maybe this is just an opportunity for me to eventually moderate. I think for now I'm going to try to minimize my refined sugar and corn syrup intake as much as possible until I reach a goal weight. And then at that point I may begin to consider adding some sugar in moderation, but I need to be really careful about that because I tend to be kind of terrible about moderation. I do think that the motivation that I have right now, I know myself pretty well, and I know that sounds like a silly thing to say, but like not everybody actually does understand their own motivations and things like that. I'm usually pretty good at telling when I'm motivated. And the kind of mindset that I have right now is I'm a little bit jazzed to realize like I tend to do well when I am thinking the way that I am about something. Um, it I kind of need like a dramatic reason to do something, or I can rationalize the heck out of it and never um, even want to succeed. It's kind of weird. Um, I really have to like it takes very specific um, alchemy of ingredients to make me truly motivated in a way that is effective. And when I get there, when I have that sweet alchemy, um, it is gold. I do succeed every time, but it's hard to fabricate. It's hard to tap into. A lot of times I kind of have to like wait for the right convergence of circumstances to just sort of like happen to me for me to gain that motivation. Things like pregnancy and stuff like that tend to be very motivating to me. But like it's always like kind of a convergence of academic knowledge that I learn, circumstantial stuff that happens, um, whatever. But I feel that I've reached sort of that perfect storm, and so I'm actually feeling very optimistic about not just weight loss but health, and it's gonna have to be a lifetime lifestyle of better choices than I've been making. So, so that's sort of a quick update, kind of quick, and an unboxing. Please feel free to comment if you have any comments or questions. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about in a future vlog. Otherwise, I will just kind of be documenting like both like how I'm handling the changes and maybe whatever exercise I'm adding, because that will also be a huge piece of the puzzle, um, and how I'm managing all those things with 2 kids under 3, um, but also um, and like no sleep. But I'll also be doing, recipe shifts and what I am enjoying, what I like, what are my treats now that I can't have a lot of sugar. Um, my husband convinced me to go ahead and just sort of phase out the the bad foods in the house. So like if I already have them in the house, we're gonna eat them normally and then just not replace them rather than wasting food, because I was sort of like going back and forth on that. But it's like, I've been eating like an entire lifetime this way, so it's not gonna like be a major harm to go ahead and use the foods that I've already purchased. And we're not talking super crazy sinful stuff, but like I had bought lemonade to help me get off of these sodas, because lemonade was made with cane sugar and not high fructose corn syrup. Um, and now I feel like, oh, I can't have lemonade, and I may choose to save the lemonade. That's like a for instance. But I bought some muffins as a treat for the family for breakfasts, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I shouldn't feed these to our kids, like and my husband just kind of like came in with a voice of reason, which he usually does. So yeah, big shift in the last 24 hours. I think probably a very productive one. I'm also going to go ahead and use my MyFitnessPal occasionally, just to kind of check in on my calories. I'm not really calorie counting, because if I'm giving up sugar, I won't have any problems with that. Most of my vices that are like calorie busters are also sweets, and I can't have like pretty much most of them. So that's the update.